The new season is just about to come. Teams are preparing themselves with the preseason conundrum. And right now, the position that we are at, I think we are starting to get a clearer picture of where each of these teams are going. Being a Man United fan, as I look into our squad, our preparation, and where we stand compared to all the other clubs within the Premier League, I have to say, I really miss Mason Greenwood. Sounds a bit disruptive, right? And of course, I'm not a fan of the Mason Greenwood, the person, got into this mess and he had to get out of United, get out of England to find a life, to find his career. And just look at what he's done since then. Mason Greenwood was one of our most brightest academy products, and I think it wouldn't be, too much to say that he was the most talented one and could have been our star boy already if he was here with us. But that's how it is. I mean, life goes on, life moves on, and we have moved on Mason Greenwood elsewhere. And look what he is doing wherever he's gone to. Manchester United have 1,000 problems. And one of those glaring problems is to bring in a head coach mid-season who has a definite style of play where he actually requires a proper center forward, and United going through with him without getting that center forward that can take United to the next level. United bought Rasmus Højlund, they got Joshua Zirkzee, and right now within this transfer window United got two more attacking players, Brian Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha, for which I'm really grateful. I was really scared when United got 15th. I wasn't sure whether we would get any significant player who could improve our starting 11, but thankfully we got two past the line, but we still have lots and lots of glaring problems. I was talking about the managerial situation, right? Ruben Amorim, with his distinctive style coming in from Sporting Lisbon, he had so much to prove, but right away, looking at the squad, he realized throughout the 6 or 7 months of his first stint with United as their manager that this is the squad that needs a lot of changes. We still, in all honesty, haven't seen Ruben Amorim's style of play at United. The identity is there, but the players are missing. The players still look like they have no clue of what's going to happen, how things are going to pan out. And this is where I think Ruben Amorim lost the plot last season when United ended up 15th in the Premier League and unfortunately lost to Tottenham Hotspurs to even get the Europa League. So yeah, it was a very tough ride, and I expect a tough ride ahead as well. But will Ruben Amorim survive? A lot of it depends on what United do within this transfer window. And United are right now in the US for their pre-season tour, and they'll be playing 3 Premier League sides. We've already seen one match, the Stockholm game against Leeds. It was a 0-0 draw. No teams were able to score. And I actually missed those times when United went to pre-seasons and even Lingard or those kind of people used to score goals for fun. And we used to come into the season with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of hope that, our team is scoring. But the big glaring problem still remains. The first match of our preseason against Leeds, we weren't able to score. And that's where I feel United will need to look on to. But does the current United squad have the players to score those goals? Let's just go into it. Let's just get into the squad. I'll go from top to bottom. I'll talk about the strikers and then the midfielders, the players who are more likely to contribute to goals. United got 2 new players, Matthias Cunha and Mbeumo. Obviously, we're very happy about that. But what else do we have there? We have Joshua Zirkzee, a 9.5, who's not even a proper 9 or not even a proper 10. If a player himself is so confused about which position suits him, can't imagine what the manager would feel about him and how he would want to place him within the team. Obviously, right away you can find out that Zirkzee, although he can play in multiple positions, he might not be the best suited guy for any of those. Rasmus Højlund, who's not been scoring goals at all, and I think many United fans would agree that you'd want to move him on and get whatever you can. He's still young, he might still have some value, But I would actually say let's try him out for another season. But what he needs is maybe a more experienced striker as his partner, more experienced striker that he can learn from. Because right now, looking at the names over there, Højlund, Xerxes, if you call them center forwards or strikers, the number 9s, none of them gives us a lot of confidence as United fans. And then who do we have? We have Ahmad, who can play as right wing back in Amorim's system, who can play as a number 10 in Amorim's system. Last season was kind of the breakout season for him, and he did well, but this is not good enough. He needs to really up the numbers, and I think if he can avoid injuries and can have a specific role in this team, you can't just switch him between right wing back and then number 10, again back to right wing back. That will create a lot of confusion within him, and which is why I think a lot of intelligent players like him even haven't been able to give their best under Amorim so far. But let's hope this preseason solves a lot of problems that Amorim has. What else do we have? We have the band that wants to leave. Rashford by now has already left. He's a Barcelona player on loan with an obligation to buy. Let's hope that Barcelona buys him at the end of the season. And then there's Garnacho, who's still searching for a new club. There's Anthony, who we want to find a new club. And there's Sancho, that no one wants to take, but he also needs to get moved on. Last night, we had the privilege of watching one of the better press conferences that Ruben Amorim had, and that was a very eye-opening press conference that he had. And there are multiple reasons for that. So one of those big reasons was he actually talked about what he wants to do with the players that want to move on. Indirectly, he mentioned that there will be much more competition for places this season, and rightly so. United don't have European football at all, so United will only be competing in all the domestic competitions, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup, and nothing else. So United more likely will have one match per week, which means lesser matches to play, and which means for a squad that's at least 20 to 23 players, all of these players won't get enough game time as much as they would like to. So in that case, the players will need to really up their tempo. They'll really need to satisfy the manager's needs and need to contribute in a positive way day in, day out in order to stay relevant. And what happens if the player stays at the bench? What happens if you're like a Sancho and think that, okay, I'll just earn my weekly wages, I'll sit back, play PlayStation, have fun, and the season ends just like that. If you do that, you won't get an opportunity to play the World Cup 2026, which is coming up next year. So that is, I think, one of the biggest catches or the hooks that Ruben Amorim wants to put to this team, and ask them, in all honesty, if you really want to get into your national team, you need to perform, you need game time, and to get that game time, you need to convince me with performances that you're in for the fight. And only if that happens, I think collectively United might have a better season than last season. Well, I started with saying I miss Mason Greenwood, and I'll end up saying why. Mason Greenwood could play in the wings. He could actually play as a proper center forward as well. He was both-footed, and he has a prolific knack of scoring goals. Last season itself, Mason Greenwood, among the players, among the forwards, who are aged under 23, he had the most number of accurate shots, 57. And even when he was at United, we could see how he made use of the stuff angles and could score goals from anywhere in the field, literally. And there was even one single match which I remember where Mason Greenwood scored 2 penalties on 2 separate occasions, one with his right foot, one with his left foot. So that's what we are missing right now. I think we're missing genuine, proper, creative quality up front, a proper number 9 that will help Amorim's system of 3-4-2-1. And if that's not the case, if this is the squad that we'll be going through, you can see the squad right in front of your eyes. I've shared them. If this is the squad that we have, if we don't have any more inclusions that will actually fight for the starting 11, Amorim might actually have to tweak his formation a bit. In order for Bruno to play as a cam, he might have to push Mbeumo and Cunha up front and create a 3-5-2 kind of a formation where Bruno plays as a cam, and then behind him he has the 2 central midfielders. whoever those might be. I really hope Sekou Kone comes up because he actually has some pace and intensity about him. Ugarte is pretty slow, Casemiro is pretty slow, Mason Mount, Kobe Mainu, they're not cut out for playing, that number 6 to number 8 roles. So it will be difficult for them to play within this system. Right now, where United stand, I have a feeling United, obviously, to properly utilize Amorim's formation, 3-4-2-1. They need a striker. They really, really need a striker. And we're looking into a few strikers. Obviously, there's Nicholas Jackson as one of the options. We've heard rumors about that. We've heard about Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. And then we've heard about another forward there, Ole Watkins. Of course, I think compared to all of them, I'd rather have Ole Watkins in the side. I think he is a good striker, Premier League proven striker at the right age. And I think Højlund, Xerxes, players like that could actually get a lot of help from him in terms of gaining experience and understanding the game properly. And then we have Chido Obi Martin. I think for his development, we also need a senior striker to help him out. So all in all, I think United, where they stand at the moment, we're not at a good place, to be honest. We've got a solid back line, I would say, but the goalkeeper is a big issue there. Onana is not reliable, according to me. If you look at the midfield, we have gaps over there because the 3-4-2-1 formation doesn't suit our midfielders. Bruno, Kobe Mainu, Mason Mount, a lot of them, I think, don't suit this system if Ruben Amorim decides to play the system as it is, and that will create a lot of more confusion. And I hope the preseason really helps this United team gel, helps the manager understand what to do with this bunch of players, and maybe have some tweaks in his formation for better output using the current squad. I'm still hopeful about a few more signings that United will make, but till then, let's just enjoy the preseason, let's enjoy this ride, and let's hope a few players that have badly underperformed last season can come back to their original potential. There's nothing below ground zero, and that's where we're starting from. Subscribe to the channel, All Sport ABP English. Let's hope to meet sometime soon. Ciao.